tell me.
Wait, first of all, can I say he was at the filming yesterday? Mr. Marino and Mrs.
you were
Marino?
at Chesterfield?
Right, yeah. Yeah, we were at the Chesterfield last night.
Was Zimmer there? Was he there?
He was supposed to be. Evidently, he got hung up and he didn't make it himself. So it was his production team. And,
got it.
And they were great anyway. I mean, they're all in the central New York region, so it wasn't just Utica. They went to that famous hot dog stand in Syracuse.
Heights,
yeah. And they went to Dinosaur Barbecue, and they capped it off with our wonderful Chesterfield. And
they also went to the barbecue place here in Utica.
Boneyard.
Oh, did they? Great.
Boneyard,
okay, good. That's cool. Yeah,
that's
we
over by
time.
Shenanigans. I got to tell you, their food is really good over there.
Yeah, that pork wing they brought in?
That's really good.
Goodness.
Sounds like a chicken wing, but it's pork. And
no, I've had it. It's amazing.
It's
that place is awesome.
When pigs fly.
It's nice to have a good Utica barbecue place. You know, I mean, they really take it serious and they spend time with it. It's good.
All right, so I'm shocked that the mayor put out his 16 points, and in there they've decided they're not treating this young man as a victim. They're going to use his name, and in addition to that, they're really trashing Mark Ambrose here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
The mayor here's the mayor's comment on KTV. I would rather be hit by a bus than treat my kid the way Mark Ambrose is treating his son.
Yeah.
So basically implying that Ambrose, to settle his grudge, is putting his son up to do all of this for him.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is unfortunate. The mayor is blamed in that 16-point plan that he put out. He blamed just about everybody.
What happened in the firehouse? Right now, the mayor is saying that Kelly has been punished. We don't know anything about that, but he's been punished for text messages. What went on inside that firehouse, and why does no one care? I don't understand that. Why does the mayor not care?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't answer that. You'd have to ask him, but I could tell you this. I think that the mayor is terrified of being, kind of lumped in with this situation, and unfortunately, as the leader, he has no choice. He has to come out and be really honest with people. And when you say, the mayor came out and said that there was a punishment, I mean, there's an actual logistical and ethical problem with that. It's not just when you're an elected official, you're the mayor of the city. You're actually ethically charged with not lying. And I believe that the mayor lied when his first release came out and said he was punished. And then
that's in his 16 points. In his 16 points, in the 16 points. He says that there was a punishment levied on June 15th. Yet the release came out and said he had already been punished like 4 days before. Right. Which is it?
Right. No,
you can't punish him twice.
Yeah, he physically admitted it in this 16 points. Yeah. And I mean, just to go through a few of these, if we don't mind. There are a few that are just factual. Hey, I got this information on this date.
Yeah.
But, he, again, defiantly says that we open an investigation immediately. It wasn't months. No one said it was months. He then says that there was no physical contact, no sexual contact. I don't think anyone ever even alleged that.
No.
So he went and answered questions that no one was asking.
Okay. If you're bringing people into the firehouse and you're watching porn and playing sword fight games and masturbating,
right?
Basically, the mayor is saying that's fair game.
That's
so my
fine.
question would
just
be,
don't touch each other.
Why have they? I mean, this fort didn't touch anybody.
Correct.
Why is it that? Why is it he's? I think the mayor is basically saying that stuff is fair game now.
Yeah, and that's the thing that would, like I say,
or he's saying this is a big lie, and which I think he's doing. He's out there telling people, you don't know all the story. If you knew what I knew, you'd think differently. It's not what it seems. Well, explain that, because I think that's just a bunch of BS, to be honest. Because the one part that we do know is those text messages are all time-stamped.
Right.
And they imply that things went on. So there's a piece of circumstantial evidence. It's more than circumstantial. Hey, come here, bring this. Have someone come with you. We'll sit around and do A, B, and C. And now you have this person who the text messages were directed to saying, oh, yeah, it really happened. I did it there. I did it in the fire station. I actually went to his house while he was on duty.
Right.
But we're completely discounting that. How do you as a council member, how do you let the mayor get away with this?
Well, that's a good question. And I think that at some point, and it's unfortunate now, but with the way that this administration has been treating issues for years. It just so happens, because the mayor's pretty effective at sweeping things under the rug and don't look over here, I'll be cutting a ribbon over there. He's very effective at that. But in this particular case, I think people have seen through all of it. And it's unfortunate, but I think we're going to have to look at some ethical law changes to not allow this kind of thing to occur. The mayor's hiding behind every piece of garbage that he could possibly hide behind. And I think we're going to have to look at some law changes to make sure that this mayor and then a mayor in the future doesn't have access to all of this information, to all of this control, and then completely just disobey every single solitary thing. We're not a privately owned company. We're a municipality.
So you're saying nothing can be done about this current situation?
I think that there could be something done now, yeah.
That John Kelly, if this stuff, first of all, we haven't heard the answer to, did this stuff go on inside the firehouse? This inappropriate activity where people being brought in, young guys being brought in with a 40-some-odd-year-old chief.
Right.
Was this stuff going on? And what in the hell is a sword fight? And why did he care if the kid was wearing briefs? And this is activity that is being endorsed and, or at the very least, being said to be acceptable, because the mayor said he was punished for text messages, not anything that was done inside. Why don't we have an answer from someone, from the mayor, to confirm or come out and say none of this ever happened at the firehouse?
Exactly.
This is all a lie. It was just because they're going out and telling people behind the scenes that this was all just locker room talk. Okay, so officially, why is it then that when they released something, the mayor said we have proven there's no criminal activity? Not that nothing happened in the firehouse.
Right.
This Utica is the laughing stock of the state right now because it's being called like the fire department with masturbation and sword fighting games. It's unbelievable. The mayor has not come out and confirmed that this never happened.
He hasn't confirmed either way, and that's his game. The game is to just...
So people are supposed to look the other way and just forget about it?
And that's what I think that he's trying to do, and that's why I don't mind coming out and talking about it, because people deserve to know something. There has been no transparency. There's been no communication. This 16-point piece was one of the biggest problematic issuances from the administration I've ever seen. It answers zero questions. It answers questions that no one was asking. It discusses things that no one was interested in, that no one wanted to know. And again, when we do that, it makes us look like a laughingstock. It allows the conversation to further. When in fact, and I mentioned this before, Sheriff Mayfield had an issue where there was a guy selling marijuana inside of his jail as a CO. The first thing he did was came out, punished the guy, and said, look, it's embarrassing. I understand it's embarrassing. We don't do this. This is not the rest of the CO community in my jails.
Right.
And it went away. The story went away.
He wasn't afraid of somebody saying, Sheriff, what were your hiring practices? How are you screening these people?
No, because no one would blame him for that.
He stood firm. He made a decision. I think this mayor stood firm, too, and he made a decision. But I don't know that you guys on the council should be satisfied with that decision.
No, we're not. I mean, but punishment for us, and that's another thing. And the mayor in his plan, or in his release, he said, just by the way, everyone in Common Council, the Ethics Board has no real judicial powers or disciplinary authority over the UFD and UPD. I want to make it really clear that when we talk about the Ethics Committee and the ethics violations in the city, we were not talking about the UPD and UFD. We were talking directly about the mayor. The mayor is going to have to answer to the Ethics Board as to how he handled the situation.
Do you have other members on board, or is it going to be like
I believe
the same
that we
thing
do.
as the term limits?
No, I know. And again, that's the other thing. I do believe that we have other members on board. I believe that everyone's really disgusted by this situation. This isn't really a political football at this point. This is a bunch of people's lives, including the Ambrose and Kelly family, by the way.
Sure.
I mean, these lives are being ruined now. I mean, so term limits, you want to play with those things, and you want to step on the people's integrity and their vote. That's immoral. But this is actually hurting people's families.
To benefit the Kelly family, come out and say we investigated and none of this happened. To benefit the fire department and the Ambrose family, and in both cases, come out and say we've investigated and it did happen, and it did happen at the firehouse. Why is it believed that the public doesn't have the right to know that, and that they can't legally tell you, yeah, this activity was going on at the firehouse, or no, it wasn't? A a statement that says it never happened if Kelly never did this, it releases him. By coming out with some ambiguous statement that doesn't answer that question, he continues to be dragged through the mud, and so does the Ambrose family.
No doubt about it. And that's why, Councilman Phillips is going to have a full committee meeting. He's the Public Safety Committee chair. He's going to have a full committee meeting in regards to this situation. And I will, and I believe that others will, be looking for the personnel file of Mr. Kelly, if it has to be an executive session or what have you.
You guys have the right to see that.
We have the right to see that. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they can call up case law about other things. There was this case law that the lawyers in the city brought to us saying during that Eric Garner case from New York City that other civil liberties union wanted to see that police officer's personnel file. And because of that, the judge decided that they couldn't see it. We're the governing body. We're not some union. We're not the media. We're the governing body.
Right. You can go into executive session,
and we can determine what we believe the public should hear and what they shouldn't hear. Right. And if someone wants to sue us for that, then so be it. That's why we have lawyers. But the public deserves to know exactly what happened.
Joe Marino, interesting. Let's see where all of this goes.
Thanks, guys, for keeping the story. And honestly, thank you for handling it right, because you really are. And, I mean, there's a lot of sensitive issues, and you guys covered it very well.
Thank you. Got a break? WIBX.